Alright guys, fact number 2. Make sure you watch this in order, right? Watch the first video on fact number 1. Satellite cells are everything. Now fact number 2, I pretty much want to say everything is everything, because really those guys are the most important. Fact number 2, nitrogen is fucking everything, right? Nitrogen. Now we're not going to go into a deep chemistry lesson about this shit, right? I'm just going to try to keep it simple. Once again, I'm oversimplifying everything, right? This is not even the fucking, it's probably like uranium or some shit, I don't even know, like, but just pretend like this is the structure, right? Anyway, why is nitrogen so important? Why do they tell you eat protein to build muscle, right? Once again, look at the little muscle cell that goes from here to here and then to here, right? I oversimplified it, right? So first you have the micro tear from the bicep curls or whatever, then you got the satellite cells that multiply to the site of injury and fuse and try to repair the muscle. And then the more nuclei the muscle has, the bigger it can grow, right? The nucleus is where the DNA is. That's where protein synthesis starts. That's where muscle building starts. The more of these fuckers you have, the bigger you can grow. And they come from satellite cells. They're the one who sacrifice their nucleus, like the heart, right? They're like, oh, hey, you can have it. You can multiply. Without satellite cells, your muscles cannot repair and grow. So anyway, now, why is protein so important, guys? Because protein is the only one out of carbs and fat. You know, it's pretty much protein, carbs, and fat, right? Fatty acids, glucose, carbohydrates, whatever, amino acids, right? Amino acids are the only ones that contain nitrogen. This right here, this nitrogen molecule. You see this? I put it in red, right? So this is like a basic amino acid. I'm making this shit up, right? It's C. I know it's one thing for sure. It's always CHO bullshit, right? Amino acids have nitrogen. That's what make them separate from. That's one of the things that make them separate from carbs and fat. See, fat have HCO. Once again, it's always HCO and some combination. Carbs have HCO, and they're all structured differently, but it's really HCNO, right? Amino acids are the only ones who have this red motherfucker right here, nitrogen, which is the key for building muscle. It's kind of like, I don't care, if you want to build a brick castle, what is one thing that you absolutely need? Bricks, right? It's common fucking sense, right? You want to build a fucking tree house. What do you need? Trees, right? Protein need nitrogen, right? Peptides, polypeptides, whatever you want to call them, they need nitrogen. So when you tear down your muscles and you want to rebuild new muscle tissue, you want to synthesize new proteins, what do you need? Yes, you need H and C and O, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, but you need nitrogen. Without nitrogen, your body can have all the hydrogen it wants, all the oxygen, all the carbon, but without nitrogen, it cannot synthesize new muscle tissue. And where do you get nitrogen from? Amino acids. Where do you get amino acids from? Protein. So it's fact number 2 clear. I can't hear you motherfuckers. It's fact number 2 clear, because when I go into episode 3, 4, and 5, I'm going to build up on these 2 principles. You got to understand the importance of satellite cells. You got to understand the importance of nitrogen, right? It's the key. Also, when you're going to hear me in the future mention a lot about nitrogen retention, all that shit that I mentioned in the past as well, nitrogen retention, steroids, and how they work, I'm pointing towards this thing right here, nitrogen retention, which is your body's ability to retain nitrogen so it could synthesize more fucking muscle tissue, right? Your body's ability to retain the bricks that you're giving it in order for it to build muscle. So you're going to hear a lot about nitrogen retention. Protein synthesis cannot happen unless your body's at a positive nitrogen balance. You guys know what that means. Your body's always either breaking down proteins for energy, glucose, whatever, or wasting, through urea, or synthesizing protein, right? When you eat protein, your body's not going to use all of it. I always tell you guys, your body's not going to synthesize all of it. That's what we want, but it's not what happens. Otherwise, you just keep growing for fucking ever. A lot of it gets wasted. We want to increase nitrogen retention. You want the nitrogen to go towards muscle building, right? And I'm going to tackle that probably in like the 4th or 5th episode. But just focus on nitrogen, all right? Next.
Yo, come on, son.
Let's just be a very lazy person. I still am. And I believe that lazy people have the most potential out of every human being on the planet. In fact, the reason why we're so lazy is because we believe it or not,